Hello students, this will be the last lecture related with the parasitology, especially about the Taenia solium. Now we will talk about the parasitic life of Taenia solium. Up to now, we have already seen several adaptations. We will just repeat few of them. So the adult Taenia solium, the first thing it is flattened body belonging to platyhelminths, of which serves the absorb the nutrients from the intestine. So more and more the body length increases, more it starts absorbing the nutrients. So this abilities led to the disappearance of system during evolution. So other things are not present, only through integument it absorbs. This is the first adaptation. Second is the presence of rostellum, hooks and suckers, which allow this parasite to attach itself to the intestinal mucosa and maintain its position in the host body. So this is very important adaptation. Without hooks and suckers, it will not be able to attach itself to the intestinal wall where they are present. Then this parasite, why this adaptation is there? Because the parasite does not require to wander in search of food. So it is surrounded by food. So wherever it is present, that is in intestine, already absorption of food takes place in the intestine, because within the intestine you have a semi-digested food which they try to absorb. So it lives in the environment where already food is present, so no need of other locomotory organ, but they have to be present in that area. That's why the hooks and suckers are there to attach themselves into the intestinal mucosa. Now it also lives in a very constant environment, because no abrupt changes takes place. Intestinal pH is constant, intestinal environment, enzymes, all are constant. The main thing for any animal along with the food is about the reproduction. Now these are all hermaphrodites, so reproductive organs are present within the proglottids. So large number of proglottids and autocopulation takes place, and all ensures reproductive success of the parasite. So they don't have to, first of all, locomotion is required for the food and for reproduction, and they don't require a locomotory organ, special locomotory organ, to wander for food, and at the same time they don't have to search for mate for reproduction because of the hermaphroditism, because already both the sexes are present within the one organism. And one more adaptation during this reproduction is the daily output of fertilized eggs. So which leave the host body one by one in by the way of gravid proglottids. Okay, so thousands and lakhs of eggs are actually passed through the fecal matter. It will be present in the fecal matter, and from there the eggs will get spread all over somewhere nearby or towards the next host with the help of some vectors like flies or any other things. Now one more thing I would like to add, that moreover, since the capable of self-fertilization, it does not need mating partner. Now because of these reasons, neither require a special locomotory organ nor sense, both of which are therefore absent. So this is one of the adaptation. Now one more thing is there, the reproduction related to loss of proglottid from the hind end of the strobila is compensated by continuous proliferative activity of neck region. Means there is a continuous loss of proglottid from the strobila. So the mature proglottid, those will get detached from the body, and they will be present in the fecal matter. They will go outside. So there is a possibility that because of this detachment, what will happen if the growth is not taking place, then at the end the length of this particular tapeworm will become shorter and shorter, and it will come towards the neck region, but this doesn't happen. Their length goes on increasing. The reason is there is a continuous proliferation through the neck region, okay, formation of new proglottids. Also, the presence of embryophore protects the enclosed from adverse environmental effects while it is outside the host body. Once it's in the egg, the outer covering protects them from the different harsh conditions. The infective stages, hexacanthid pig and cysticercus, this word has been a problem. It's cysticercus, that's it, okay. Have the ability, cysticercus, cysticercus, then there will be space, have the ability to respond to the host digestive juices, okay. Also there is one more adaptation, that is hooks and penetrating glands are used by the hexacanth to bore through the pig's duodenal mucosa. So hooks and the penetration gland means those glands which secrete some enzymes which will digest the connective tissue, and it will be useful for the animal to penetrate through the wall of intestine and goes towards the other part. For example, in pig's case, it will get transferred through the blood into the muscular region. So the digestive enzymes, they may produce the digestive enzymes also. So parasite secretes some chemical on their surface to neutralize the effect of host digestive enzymes. Now remember, for penetration also they produces the digestive enzyme, that is a different thing. Other than that, to protect themselves against the digestive enzymes of the host, they do have some neutralizing enzymes also. So existence of these anti-enzymes is not demonstrated, but there is a possibility that it will be present. Now studies carried out on other tapeworm species suggest that the tegument of Solium may be covered by surface coat which resist immune reaction to the host. So immunogenic reaction also doesn't takes place. So likewise, the deleterious effect of the parasite on the host are very mild, except when the human beings become infected with the oncosphere. The physiological basis of the aspect is, however, unclear. Now, in this case, tapeworm nearly an ideal parasite since it lives close harmony with the host. An interesting facet of this relationship is that the number of adult Taenia solium in the human body rarely exceeds more, and the reason seems to be that the single parasite protects its host from other members of its own species by inhibiting the establishment of new infection. Now this confers some degree of immunogenicity on the host. So this type of resistance by the host persists so long as an existing parasite survives in the host body and disappears after the parasite dies or is eliminated. Now this phenomenon is specific but temporary immunity of host to the superinfection is known. Permunition means armed in advance. So it is distinct from the prolonged immunity which develops in the host after some bacterial disease or through inoculation, and which is due to the presence of antibodies. Thus, pre-munition denotes protection against reinfection as a result of existing infection, whereas immunity is related to the previous infection. Remember. Now we will see what kind of effects that might happen to the host. So mild infection of a pig with Taenia solium cysticerca cause lot of damage. Heavy infection, mild damage I should say initially, but heavy infection involve brain, eye, heart, skeletal muscle, lead to the death of the animal also, because they pour through the intestine and mix in the blood. They can go anywhere, and if they enters into the brain or eye or in heart or skeletal muscles, if it is in skeletal muscles, basically animal doesn't die, but if it goes towards the brain, eye or heart, there is a possibility where animal may die. So in human beings, infection with the adult solium is known as teniasis, and disease is usually asymptomatic, means you will not come to know that you have tapeworm within your body. So unless and until you feel something, some problems, or you go through the scan. So some of the effects are there. For example, abdominal discomfort will be there, diarrhea, not continuous, but in between you may feel diarrhea. There will be loss of excessive appetite, weakness will be there, loss of weight, nervous symptoms like nausea, dizziness, insomnia will be there, and very rarely perforation of intestinal. Perforation means pores of the intestinal wall. Rarely this happens, but if there is an infection, and also I should tell you that this abdominal discomfort, diarrhea, loss of excessive appetite, this happens when there is the presence of adult tapeworms. A very small tapeworm or just entry level or even bladder worms, they also doesn't make this much of infection. Basically bladder walls are not present in humans, but this thing happens when the tapeworm, adult tapeworm size increases and it start absorbing more nutrients which is more required by the body. So these are some of the symptoms. Main thing what happens, there will be deprivation of vitamins and other nutrients to the host, because this particular organism, they will start absorbing the vitamins and other thing. Now hematological effect may include slight eosinophilia. As we know, eosinophilus type of cells, they may have their number may increase. Now the chief importance of solium is that parasite causes human cysticercosis. It's human in space cysticercosis, in which the hexacanth may develop into bladder worm, okay, in an organ including muscles, heart, brain and spinal cord. Now this may happen. Basically they will be present in our in intestine, but there is a possibility that if in some cases, as I have told you previously, that if there is a pore formation, they do the pore formation or perforation within the intestine, they may get mixed up in the blood, and if they mix up into the blood, then these all things may happen. Generally this thing happens in pig, not in humans, but rarely this may happen. Now damage caused depend upon location of bladder worms in the body. Few parasites in the muscles or subcutaneous tissue are nothing to worried about. So this is very important, but their number, if it increases, then there is a problem. And if they enters into the central nervous system or heart or other delicate against the space occupying growth, and then it causes they cause some problems. Okay, so when it goes towards the brain, then there is a problem, otherwise this thing doesn't happen. Now we will see what are the diagnosis and the treatment of the diseases. So how they find out about the diagnosis. The first thing, gravid pleurotic start appearing in the human feces. So fecal matter will be analyzed, and if they find this gravid proglotid in the fecal matter during the analysis, then it is confirmed that there is a presence of Taenia solium. Then there are some treatments for that. So anti-helminthic drugs are there. Definitive microscopical identification also depend upon visualization. The distinctive Abbott's collex, mature proglotid characterized by 3 ovarian lobes, absence of vaginal sphincter, and gravid proglotid with 10 or less bilateral uterine branches full of egg capsule. Okay, so this visualization also confirms the presence of Taenia solium. Now free non-operculated eggs living bladder worms can also be identified by computerized tomography, that is CAT scan. There are some other techniques also, but any of the technique or immunological techniques are not that much effective against, because nothing is observed in the blood, only the fecal matter is more important. Okay, so more effective identification is microscopic identification. There are certain treatments. So main best treatment is the surgical removal, okay, of these parasites from your body. If this happens, then it's good. Otherwise, there are some chemotherapy is available. Some of the drugs are also available. For example, the praziquantel, trade name is Cestox, produced by Merck, is a drug of choice because it is safe and host is highly effective in killing the worms. So some of the drugs are available there, although surgical removal is the best, you can say, the effective therapy against the tapeworms. There are some alternative drugs also, but those are somewhat toxic. That's why not every time is actually has been given. So what is the prophylactic measure? The first thing is cooking. All pork products should be cooked properly before eating. Avoidance of consuming raw or undercooked pork meat is also there, and purchase of pork meat through the assured quality or reliable butcher shops. This will be more effective. And personal hygiene, like washing hands with soap and water and disinfection before the eating, is the main cause. So this is about the prophylactic measures. And there is prophylaxis at the community level also. So housing pigs in clean sanitary environment, cured inspection of meat in the slaughterhouse, proper sewage disposal. So these are some of the things that community level also that can stop the stop the teniasis. So effective chemotherapy and careful disposal of fecal matter, that is the main thing to stop the Taenia solium. Thank you.